Whitcomb Manor felt different without Clarissa. Her absence was not a silence. It was an echo, a space left behind that refused to be filled. The board now held only two pawns, Hart and Omar. Rain lashed against the windows. The fire had burned low. Mr. Crowthorne entered the drawing room precisely at midnight, holding a sealed scroll of dark crimson parchment. "This," he said, "is the Fourth Testament. It can only be read aloud. Once." Hart took it. The seal cracked like old bone. She began to read. "He who holds the mark shall speak the truth or be silenced. Only the marked may question, only the guilty shall answer." Beneath the scroll was a silver ring set with a blood-red garnet, inscribed, "Vera loquere," speak truth. Hart slipped it onto her finger. The moment the ring slid onto her hand, Hart felt it, an ache in her skull, a tingling at the base of her spine. It wasn't just metal. It pulsed, alive. The fire crackled violently in the hearth. Shadows seemed to tilt, lean toward her. She looked at Omar. He blinked. Something in his expression shifted. "Ask," he said, voice quiet, hollow. Hart felt the weight of the ring grow heavier with every word she spoke. "Have you lied about anything you've seen in this manor?" Omar flinched. "Yes." "What did you see in the Hall of Echoes?" "I saw Arthur Whitcomb. Slit his own throat." Hart froze. "But he died of poisoning." Omar's voice cracked. "Not in the version I saw." Hart tried to remove the ring. It wouldn't budge. They returned to the study. The storm outside howled. Omar, pale and sweating, revealed a ledger he had taken from the chapel. "His family, they kept records," he said. "Not of money, of blood, illnesses, traits, lineage, experiments." Hart skimmed through it. The pages listed names. Some crossed out, some circled in red, some noted as unviable. One stood out, Detective Eleanor Hart. Her breath caught. "I never knew them," she whispered. "I was adopted." Omar nodded. Then he knew. "Arthur? You're not just here to investigate, you're part of this." She turned to the earlier pages. Diagrams of organs, surgical notes, entries referring to subject EH. Highly receptive, potential catalyst. Hart dropped the book. Following a trail from the ledger, they found a hidden door behind the wine cellar. Inside, a small chamber lined with surgical equipment, jars, old medical notes, and one locked safe embedded into the floor. The air smelled of rust and something far older. Candles lit themselves as they entered. A phrase was etched above the safe in Latin, "Purga sanguine," cleansed by blood. Hart pressed her hand to it. It stayed locked. Omar tried, and it clicked open. Inside, a single object, a black envelope addressed to "The Last Whitcomb." There was something else, a photograph. It showed a girl, maybe 5 years old, standing with Arthur Whitcomb beside a grave marked Elizabeth H. Hart's knees buckled. "That's me." That night, Hart returned to her room. On her pillow, a card from the widow's game. It had not been there before. It read, "2 players remain. The next move belongs to the dead." She turned it over. A smear of blood. She went to find Omar, but he was gone. In his room, a note was pinned to the wall with the garnet ring. "I had to see her again. I have to know if it was real. Omar Hart understood. He'd gone back to the Hall of Echoes. She followed the path. This time the door opened easily. The chapel was colder than before, the air thick with incense and something older, salt, mildew, and rot. Omar stood in the center, unmoving, eyes wide. Across from him stood a woman in funeral black. Clarissa. Hart's voice broke the silence. "That's not her." The figure turned slowly. Her face was Clarissa's, but subtly wrong, like a wax replica melted slightly in the sun. Her eyes were glassy, lips cracked. A whisper of breath fogged the air. It smiled. "Only one may remain," it whispered, "and only one may remember." The stained glass windows shattered. Candles went out. Darkness. A scream, brief and human, then silence. I don't know what that was. I don't know what she was. But Omar is different now, and I'm running out of time. There's one testament left, and I'm afraid I already know what it says. I dream of the safe, of blood on stone, of my own reflection whispering back at me. The game is almost over. To be continued. Like if the mystery pulled you in. Comment with your theories. Who do you trust? Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter. Follow to keep uncovering the truth, piece by piece.